Hi guys. This is my presentation on, why you should elect me. Why you should vote for me. My name is Diogo Miranda, but I also go by Dio, so that way it makes it much easier on most people. I am a senior at UH, and I also do work for a research center at UH as well. It is called the IUCRC Brain Center. It's located in the engineering building. You can find it. It's a really cool stuff, a lot of projects. I'm running for president, and I'm also running for VP Finance. Before I go any further, I didn't put as much for president because when it comes to presidents, it's usually the members. I am advocating for you guys, and you guys speak more than I do. When I do something, it's mostly for you guys, and I want your input from that. All right, I think that's fair enough, right? For VP Finance, that's a little bit different. All right, yeah. I am mostly present at everything. I am always at every event. If you have not seen me, it is almost nearly impossible. If you haven't seen me in most pictures, either way, that people have taken away, that people have taken of me, it is crazy to not do it. But I'm also the director of operations at Cougar CS. I usually buy all the stuff that you see at those events. And in most cases, I am probably the one person that actually knows what our finances looks like. I am the one that actually purchased all these stuff. So I know what we're buying half of the time. So truly transparent with that. I'm also in a fraternity. If you haven't realized that, or if you haven't seen any Discord stuff at all, I'm in a fraternity that also creates a lot of communications. I've had to deal with a lot of people that didn't want to communicate, people that were hard-headed, stuck, or something that just led to a different direction. Being a leader is something that you have to have when being in a fraternity. Also with that, it is very, very difficult to even control, but hey, I'm still here. I still have time management. My vision, my goal is to be a bit stricter, a little bit, not rule with an iron fist. Of course, that's not what we're doing. This is democracy, right? But most of the times we have a little bit of rogue agents here and there. A lot of people that usually go off the turns and they do a little bit of, I would say, shenanigans that would disturb us. And for me, I don't really like that. I like to shut it off. I don't really like when people start to not undermine, but almost cause problems that really don't exist. That's something that I don't like. Also, I would like to improve financial literacy. A lot of you, as I know, I have gotten a few texts from our events chair about what our finances looks like, and that shouldn't be my problem. But hey, I am the director of operations, and I know what that looks like. So, of course, I would love to improve it. I would also love to not foster, but just create a bigger or well-connected branches. A lot of times, like for example, like I said, I'm always there at every event, and I have seen how InfoSec ran, and it was a big load of nothing. It was just nothing. We had to switch rooms. We always had to. The pizza ran late because I was notified less, and tutoring was just like it was not. It was a nothing burger as well. So I'd like to at least have people know what's actually going on, not feel boring. Also, I would like to maintain the momentum that we have now into the next semester. That is a big, huge thing for me. I think we did really well this semester, and having this same exact momentum, having the same exact companies come out, maybe not as much more frequent as they came out today, but maybe in the next semester would actually be really good. Q&A. All right.
Yeah, what's up, Dio?
Hi, Ali.
I'm the event chair in question that asked about the finances, but I wanted to ask more about your experience as operations. Do you feel anything else in operations that you didn't mention in the slides would help you prepare for being president for PPCS?
Yeah, a lot of times, of course, like I said, I'm always there at events, so I see a lot of the problems that go at events, but I also do see a lot of the good. For example, most of the problems is not even with the people, the members coming in. It's mostly how we present ourselves, because sometimes these events don't go as well as we want them to, and then some events are surprisingly well. For example, we weren't expecting a lot for the pumpkin. That's just truthfully. I bought 22 thinking that we're just gonna run out of 22 and then have duos run with the pumpkin, right? Instead, we had a huge turnout, and that was mostly because it was a social event and people love going to that. Versus tutoring, even though that's the most helpful thing that we have, nobody came. like not a single person. And I was surprised by that because even when, what was it, last semester, I had gone to one of the tutoring events. There was like the whole room was filled in 232. It's crazy. But yeah,
You said you want to be more rigid with how you run the org. Can you explain that a little more?
rigid is okay. Rigid in the sense of like a lot of times we have people coming into, I would say, into the space creating problems that aren't there. Like they create these like phantom problems. For example, I see everything. So, and I don't do anything, but because it's not my role. But a lot of the times, these people they create problems, and then these problems don't go away because they stem from nothing. And so when they're just there, they just leave, and then they grow and they grow and they grow until it becomes a huge problem. So cutting that off at the head, so that way the tail dissipates, is one of the options that has to happen.
I had a question. So Cougar CS has a large team, and every single other person has different kind of work ethics and time commitments. So how would you, if you were president, handle a situation where people aren't putting in the work that they should? In this scenario, maybe you are too busy with your own tasks, so it's not like you can take over for them.
Yeah. Like I said, I was in a fraternity, so you dealt with guys that were like saying, "Oh, I don't want to do this," or "I don't want to do that." It was very difficult, but that's what becomes a leader. Like when you're leading, you have to take charge, despite whether or not it's not your responsibility. You are a leader. You have to take charge. You're the head. You're the head, and everybody's following you. And so, if people have different opinions, you listen. And when people sometimes those opinions, naturally don't match up with yours, you have to be humble enough to actually listen and speak with wisdom to them. On top of that, let's say if I was busy, sometimes, I am human and I do get busy. Most of the times I am really good at delegating a lot of the stuff. As you can see, I have 2 team members under me, and they're really cool, and I love them both, and they help me out a ton, even when I'm hella busy or I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, but they always help me out, and I'm great at delegating the work to them.
So should be the last question,
Okay.
but sometimes as VP Finance, you'll be asked by the team or by other people, how many money do you have? Because I know some people think we're rich, that our bank account, is infinite, that we have a lot of money. But sometimes we need to save some money and just allocate stuff to where it needs to go. In this case, you're gonna be, if you become VP Finance, you'll have to create kind of a plan for the whole semester.
Yeah.
If someone comes to you asking for something that is not in the budget, that we cannot afford, how would you tell them that a no is a no, that they have to understand that it's not in the budget?
By telling them it's not in a budget and no is a no. I'm a very blunt person when it comes to that type of stuff. Like when it becomes serious, it's serious, and they need to take it in a serious tone. If they're not taking it seriously, it's on them. But when I say no, it's a no. I mean, you guys have mostly seen me smile and joke around, right? Of course, it's so funny. But when it comes to like stuff of money or, hey, I really want this and I really want this for my stuff, and it's like, okay, I understand, but no, sadly not. We just have to deal with it. That's it.
I want to add on to that. So, including onto what he said, like saying no to like an officer or whatnot. Also, a president could ask you of something, but you are the center point of the finances.
Yeah.
So a president can't overpower you. How are you going to handle that sort of situation where the president of the org wants to get like a fog machine or something like that, but we can't afford it, right? What will you do in that scenario?
What would I do? This is equal. We're all equal. This is checks and balances. I mean, we have this in our real life, right? So it's not like he can come over here and tell me to buy this, but I hold the card. I actually do hold the card. I'm not lying. Like I have it on me right now. I hold the card, so I know what I know. I know how to control myself enough to just be like, just because you're in a position of power doesn't mean you have that much power over me. This is checks and balances. If a no is a no and you want to try to overwrite that and say yes, it's still a no.
Thank you.